Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alyssa, and for all of you guys who are new here, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. And since we're in the business of hitting buttons, make sure that you also give this video a big thumbs up. Definitely helps me to know that you like this, and also that I should make more content like this, you know. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my top 10 Netflix shows that you must watch. This list has mainly all TV shows, but there are 2 documentaries that I will share with you guys as well. So we're just gonna jump right into it and get started. For the first show, it is The Office. I don't know where I was when everyone was talking about The Office, and it was such a big thing. People love The Office, and I recently just started watching it, probably within the last year maybe, and yeah, it's hysterical. There's like dry humor, stupid humor. The whole background of the show is that it's a reality show that takes place in an office. It's mainly just set in the office, and there's of course like a few different other locations as well, but it mainly centers just around the cast's office life. So if you like humor like that, like stupid, funny, dry kind of humor, totally worth a check out if you haven't already seen The Office. And if you haven't, where have you been? I mean, I guess I can say the same thing for myself. For number 2, it is the show You. This show I was so iffy about when I first started to watch it because I heard so many mixed reviews. The show stars Penn Badgley, who we all know is Dan from Gossip Girl. He plays a guy named Joe who is a stalker, and he gets wrapped up in this girl, her name is Beck, in her life, and just a bunch of craziness happens. I don't want to give too much away for any of these shows. I don't care about spoilers, but I know a lot of people do. For me, you can tell me the entire thing from beginning to end. I'm still gonna watch it if I'm interested. I don't care about spoilers, so I'm just not gonna say too much. For the third show, it is Gossip Girl. I think Gossip Girl is probably one of the most popular shows on Netflix. I watched this since it was on television. I love the show from the beginning, and I think so many people like it too because it follows just a bunch of teenagers on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, and it's just like a lifestyle that not many people have. It's just very intriguing to people. I would put it in the same category as like 90210, One Tree Hill, just like, you know, those teenage shows. For number 4, it is one of the documentaries in my list, and it is called Fyre. So I don't know how many of you guys know about the Fyre Festival that was supposed to happen in 2017 in the Bahamas, but it basically was just one huge flop. The documentary follows the story of the whole festival, and it starts off with this guy. His name is Billy McFarland. He's like the brains behind the entire thing, and the whole thing was like a fraud. It mainly got popular based off just social media, but yeah, the whole festival basically just was a flop and did not happen. And the documentary takes you from like the beginning to the end of it. And also, just to let you guys know, there is another Fyre documentary on Hulu. So if you guys have Hulu, that one I definitely would say to check out too, because to be honest with you, it's a little better. And that's only because in the Hulu documentary, they interview Billy McFarland himself, and I know there was a lot of like controversy behind that because they paid him for the interview, and he's currently in jail. If you have Hulu as well, totally check out the documentary on Hulu, but don't forget to watch the one on Netflix too, if you like documentaries. For number 5, it is Stranger Things. Stranger Things I would probably consider to be like a cult favorite. It just got big out of nowhere. And for me personally, I actually started watching it when it like first came out. In the first episode, there was like a jump scare and maybe like not even a minute into it, and I was like, nope, turning this off, not watching it. I don't like thrillers or horrors or anything like that. Not to say that this is horror, but I don't like to be scared. And it wasn't until like 8 months later, something like that, where it actually got big. Everyone was watching it, including a ton of my friends. So like I gave it another chance, and I'm glad I did because I loved it, and I can't wait for season 3. Number 6 is Gilmore Girls. Gilmore Girls is probably my all-time favorite show. It follows Rory and Lorelai Gilmore, which is Rory's mom, and just their life through Stars Hollow, Connecticut, which is kind of crazy because when I was younger I thought that was a real place. Come to find out, Stars Hollow is actually made up. But yeah, it's like a dramedy, so it's definitely a drama, but there's a lot of comedy mixed in, and I really like that kind of series. and if you do too, I'm sure if you haven't seen Gilmore Girls already, it's something that you would totally like. And also, if you've seen Gilmore Girls, let me know who you ship. Rory and Dean, Rory and Jess, or Rory and Logan. I've always been for Rory and Jess because I love Jess. So yeah, let me know who you prefer together. For number 8, it is a series called Explain. And the title's pretty much self-explanatory. Every episode explains something different. They're just random topics. They go from like cryptocurrency, K-pop, the stock market, let's be real, nobody really knows how that works, the racial wealth gap, and just like random things. So if there's anything that you ever wanted to know about and they talk about it, it definitely gives you a lot more information behind that topic. Totally worth checking out. For number 8, it is How to Get Away with Murder. This is another one of those shows where when it first came out on television, I was obsessed with it. Every Thursday I would watch. It stars Viola Davis and she plays Annalise, and she is an attorney, and it starts off with like the murder of her husband and his mistress, and the storyline just goes from there. It's a murder mystery, so if you like murder mysteries and that genre, totally worth checking out as well. For number 9, this is another documentary, the second one in my list. And it is called Strong Island. It follows the story of a family who moves from the South during the Jim Crow era, and they move up north and they end up in Central Islip on Long Island. There was a black man, his name was William Ford Jr., and he was actually murdered by a white guy named Mark Riley. And the whole like premise of the story is that when Mark Riley was on trial, the jury declined to indict him, and it just follows the family's like reaction to this and what happens after and how it affected their lives. It shines light on how race affects the criminal justice system, and it's just very interesting to see the story of everything that happened. And if you like true crime, you would totally enjoy this, and just the way everything is filmed, it's really interesting to watch. And for number 10, rounding out my list, it is A Series of Unfortunate Events. When this book series was really popular, I was obsessed with it. This was probably like in middle school to like early high school days, and they first made it into a movie, and now it's a series on Netflix. I believe there are 2 seasons. Well, there are 2 seasons. I don't know if there's gonna be a 3rd season, but there are definitely 2 seasons out right now, and this storyline is hilarious. I mean, it's not really that funny. So basically the story follows the wealthy Baudelaire children, and their parents die in a house fire, and they're sent to live with various super distant relatives, like 3rd and 4th cousins. But they have this one really distant relative named Count Olaf, and he's just basically out to get their fortune. So he tries to take them from every relative that they go to live with. And it's just really funny the way everything happens. There is a lot of dark humor, so if you don't like dark humor, I don't think you'll like this series. But it is supposed to be a children's series, so take that for what it is. So yeah guys, that was my top 10 Netflix shows, series, documentaries, whatever, that I totally recommend for you guys to check out if you haven't already seen some of these shows. Before you go, of course, one last reminder to hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit it now. I'll wait for you. Okay. And also give it a big thumbs up, hit that like button. Lets me know that you guys want to see more videos like this. So thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.